Okay, welcome back to the third video. And if you are still with me, then seriously, you are really interested in using this bot. So let's get on it. So I stopped right here in the last video. So we're going to resume here on this particular video. And here we have disable ABC wave structure. So what this means is if you have a bullish move like this, and then you have a pullback, which you are open to trade, you get in on a trade, but instead of going to make an higher high to this, it rather forms a lower high like that. Once this is formed, there is probability that this low may be taken out. There is also another probability that this invalidation will be taken out, which we can't be sure of. So once this pattern forms, if this is true, then it won't take any more trades. But if this is false, then once this pattern is formed, if you are in a trade and then price comes back and creates something like this, it can then take another trade, which you can see this is a triangle pattern. But we cannot be sure, as most cases it will just come and do something like this. And then we will say this is another shoulder, right? So to avoid such bad trades is why I've created this. So when you optimize, either to use this as true or false, it will be shown to you. And here you have single entry per swing on entry. This is where I explained before, where I said if you want to take multiple trades on the lowest time frame, or you just want to take one single trade. So this is bullish move on, let's say 15 minutes, you enter at this point, but this move up is like this on 1 minute or 3 minutes. So every swing here, every pullback on this swing, you want to take one trade each, not multiple per this mini swing. You want to take more trade, or you can just rather choose to take one trade on this whole move, or you can take 1, 2, 3 trades on that whole move. This will be scaling entries to compound profits. So if you have this as false and this as false, that means you are open to any signal being seen. But if you have this as true and this as false, then which means on signal time frame it will take only one trade per that signal time frame, which is this. But if you have this as false and this as true, then it will take multiple trades as it sees signal on this time frame. Position spacing, that is an interesting one, because we are willing to take multiple trades on the lowest time frame. That is why I've introduced spacing. You have a bullish move like this on a bigger time frame, then a pullback which goes above. You pick your entry here, but picking the entry here, you are open to taking multiple trades on the lowest time frame, which means each mini swings like this, you are willing to pick entry here, here, and here. There's some instances whereas price fails to create an higher high, but turns back and hunts for every stops. If you keep taking multiple trades here, that means you have your stop probably below here, stop below here, stop below here, and price gets to this side only to turn back. That means you are going to hit 1, 2, 3 stop losses rather than 1. So to prevent that, it means when you go on your chart, you want to find the distance point. Which point is it okay for you to enter another trade? Here may be too close, then here you may think here is good because price has moved the distance which trailing stop should have clicked in on this one. So you just take your ruler and measure from this point to this point. Let me quickly show you an example on that. So let's assume you happen to be in a short from this particular point here. You may think this taking another shot on this point is too close. I'm just making an example, right? So if you're in a short on this point, make sure you come to click this cross chair. Then once you hold it down and drag it to wherever point, as you can see, the first one 8658, that is not it. Then we have 16 bars, that is not it. The one that says points 14, that is what you want to measure. So if you don't want a position to be open between here and here, there we have 40 points. Then you come on your position spacing and here and you write 40 points. Each chart, their pointing system is different, so that is very important for you to check. But if you do not want to use spacing between positions, you want them to open anytime it sees, no matter how close they are to each other. Like some people like stacking orders, they open multiple positions on one single price tag. Then you better keep this on false. EIP, entries within high and low. This is to make sure that whatever entries you are taking are confined within an high and a low. And what that means is, in a bullish scenario like this, when a high is formed, you want whatever bullish entry you want to take, whatever long you want to take, you want it to be above this low and below this size, to make sure that you are picking from a point where there is still distance from your possible entry to retest this high, giving you probability of profit, instead of picking trades above this side. Like there is a signal that forms above this side, and like I said, the moment price crosses a recent high, pullback can start at any time. So if a first signal presents itself here and you take the trade and pullback starts immediately, it's going to hit your stop loss. So that is prevention for that. So if this is true, then it will make sure it's confined within high and low. If it's false, then anywhere signal is found, it can take. So when this is true, this can also be false, this can also be true. This is an added filter to make sure that in case of something like this, when you have something like this and there is a very bullish candle, or let me rather say, let me do it like this. You have a bullish structure like this, but this is shallow pullback, and then you have one engulfing candle that extends from here to break the side, one big move. So the second one here now is to check if you should enter your trade there if the previous candle before this one, the one that does the breakout, that is another strategy, is well contained between this high and this low, or this breakout candle or the momentum shift candle has to be contained within the high and the low itself. Like this is a high, this is a low, and then you have a momentum shift candle. So the high of this momentum shift candle, does it have to be above this or below this and within this? So that is what this is. So if it's false, then it will use the previous candle before the breakout. If it's true, then the momentum shift candle has to be within. Optimizations will be best for all of these for you to really decide. And this is candle strength. Look at this very big candle here. The candle strength of this candle seems to me like 50-50, because if you look at the entire candle size from the low to the high, the body size is like 50% of the entire candlesticks. That means it looks like a strong candle, but it's not entirely a strong candle. So when this is 0.5, it means 50%. That is the ratio, which is something like this. So do you want your candles to be as weak as this, or you want the body size to be 70%, or you even want it to be 100%? 100% means a no weak candle. 0.9 will mean 90% of the body size. I don't know if I can get one of such. It's very rare to get. Okay, but look at this particular candle. Look at this particular candle here. This may seem, look at the start of the candle to the close. Look at its arc, very small wick. So the body size of this candle, this particular one, it seems to be maybe 90% of the entire candle itself. So that is a very strong candle, which means that is a very strong momentum shift, unlike this very one. So do you want the strength of your shifting candle to be as strong or to be weak? That is where you decide. But when it's too strong, you may hardly get such. So I do like this to be between 0.6 to 0.8. That is 60% to 80%. Now, this is the number of bars that has to be in a pullback. This, and this, they are the same. But this is for entry signal and this is for entry time frame. So how many street bars, very street bars, like probably like this, do you want to be in a pullback? As we have here, this may be a correction, but they are weak bars. So the moment they are weak bars, they are not strong. So it may not see a signal, even if it's a good signal after all. Like here now, we have this pullback here on this bearish move. This candle seems like maybe 50 or 60% of the body. This also seems like 60% of the body. So we have two strong bars in this pullback. Then we have a change in momentum probably. Then we have this down move. So how many strong candle pullbacks do you want in a pullback? I do put this between minimum 2. I don't like 1. Then maximum 5 or 6. You can use maximum 2 to 10 depends on you. But will you get 10 strong candles in a pullback? You may never get that. So you have to play with it on optimization. And this is cancel, mass burst to cancel signal, and this is also mass burst to cancel order. This is for entry time frame. They are the same thing, but just on 2 different time frames. This one means once you have a signal, entry signal, but then price goes sideways, you have a bullish move like this. It's the same thing, so I will just explain it once. Then you have an entry signal, but instead of it to break the high of that your entry signal, price just comes back and start doing something like this, wasting time. And you know, once consolidation is happening on top of demand, it's likely to break down. So if that happens and do not trigger this entry, how many bars are you willing to wait before you stop that order or before you cancel that signal? That is not a genuine signal. That is what this does. This you can leave as 1 up to 6 or 1 up to any number as you want. But these settings here, from here to here, I do leave them for optimization to decide what is best, because every pairs or every asset, they react differently. So some are very quick, they have high momentum, which one will be good to cancel, and the moment they start delaying on 2 bars, that means that signal is going to fail. While some, they can delay but still go well, which is why you can see 4. And this is entry confirmation model. What this means is your confirmation. If you want to take a trade, do you want to take the trade the moment the signal is formed? You don't want to wait for the high to break. You just want, like what I mean by high is, okay, let's say we have this bearish pullback. Then we have this change of momentum here, this very red candle. So as it gives you that very momentum change, this is not a genuine signal. I'm just using an example. Do you want to enter the signal at the moment it closes right on there, or you want these very lows to break for you to be sure that yes, price is going to continue downward? Or as you have this pullback and you have this pin bar, do you want to enter the trade the moment this pin bar closes, or you want to wait for its low here to break to show you that it truly wants to go down? So that is what that does. And here is very, very complicated. It's not that complicated. It works with signal time frame. That is why I said signal time frame. It works with fib and it works with switch. So if you have this switch as true, then all of this will be used. So you have to select or backtest which is best. What this does is if price, my optimization has finished, assuming price is in a bullish range, it's a bullish, and you are looking for longs, or probably you are in a long and a pullback starts on an higher time frame. If this is enabled, then the moment you spot where's the deactivation, okay, the moment a top forms on the signal time frame, not the entry confirmation on the entry, like 1 hour or 50 minutes in this case, the moment a top forms, or the moment there is a momentum change from up move to down move, it will disable the bots from looking for any more trades to prevent you from taking unnecessary losses. And here, the moment it sees that a bottom has been formed, either by entering fib level or by forming a low in a bullish move or by changing of momentum, then that is when it will reactivate the bot to start looking for trades. So that is what that does. And in case of a fake pullback deactivation, probably you are in a bullish move and then there is a momentum change. If you are using momentum change here, if there's a momentum change here, and then there is a fake momentum change, like probably you have a bullish engulfing, you are bullish, you have a bearish engulfing only to get re-engulfed, that means that is a fake move. Then if you are to reactivate after that fake move, then both will be reactivated and start looking for trades. This is display color for these comments I have here. So if you have that, you can change it to anything you want. You can make this thing is gray, you can change it to whatever color can be good. You want to click OK, you see it changes to red. And here, this is the font size. I've downscaled my screen resolution from 4K to 1080p, so this is very big. So if that is the case with you, if you're using 1080p the default font size may be bigger, then you can just reduce to maybe what is comfortable for you, 12. And then you can also change the font as you want, like the color as you want, to make it suitable for your eyes. So whatever is convenient for you to see, that is for the comments. And here is our optimization criteria. So what this does is it doesn't do anything with the EA functionality, but it keeps tracks of how good a parameter combination, like all these parameters, how each combinations work. Like right now I said my optimization has finished. After 6 hours, 15,000 parameters were tested. 15,000 parameters. Sometimes your parameter combinations can run into millions, but we will discuss that when we are optimizing. So I've used this custom algorithm which I created myself to filter out which positions or which parameter combination are good and which are not good. You should do research on profit factor, recovery factor. Those two, I've discussed it in my group several times, but you can also Google it to see what they mean. So here, if my profit factor, any parameter combination like this, if it goes below 2.0, like here, it's going to penalize that parameter. I've done a scoring system, as you can see in results here. This is the scoring system. So all this part, the first list you see, that is past, that is algorithm generation, it's not relevant. But results here, this first one you see means is scored the highest, like the highest scoring student. These parameters now have students, like, so this scored the highest, which means this parameter combination for that period I've tested is the best. But in the case it is the best, but it doesn't meet 2.0 profit factor, part of this result will be deducted, like a penalty will be fine and be charged to make sure that it gives another possibly performing students or parameters an upper hand. The same thing with this place. Any profit factor, as you can see here, recovery factor. This is recovery factor column here. If it doesn't meet up with 10.0, if it's below 10.0, it gets penalized. Any trade in the year that doesn't make up to 360 trades, as you can see, total trades here is 485 trades. So if it's below 360 trades, it gets penalized. If the overall win rate of these parameter combinations that I may use is below 65%, it gets penalized. If the absolute drop down below my capital when I first start trading is below this amount I have here, then it's going to get penalized. If the relative mass allowed drawdown, which is relative drawdown, which happens in percentage, as we see here, if it is above 10%, which means my drawdown when I start trading may be above 10%, then it gets penalized. So that is my own algorithm for choosing the best parameters. There are several other algorithms out there which are already inbuilt, but this is customized by myself. I don't want to use any default thing. You can go, we will discuss more about this when we get to optimization. So that is it about parameters. Next, I will discuss how we can backtest any parameters we find. I will probably use these parameters to do the backtest so we can see virtually before I show you the optimization process to get your own best settings for any time period you want. Thank you.